What's up, guys? This is Focus Motion. Doing a commentary on my boy TJ um, play. Not so much as a critique in a sense. I think he's a very good player. Just more like of what I do in his spot. So I'll be going through several hands, just kind of commenting on the play itself and what I do and so forth. So without any further ado, here we go. We have Ace Jack 4 5 on the button. Um, it's pretty good, except the four is a diamond. That's not that good, and 4 5 had some connectors possibilities, and with the ace and also the Ace Jack is okay. I mean, this is not exactly a premium hand, but it's definitely a raising hand on the button, especially if it's multi-way pre. So I would be definitely potting on the button. I did listen to the commentary that TJ was saying, and he's saying that some of the people were very loose and they called down. But if that's the situation, if that's the scenario, you definitely want to be making them pay for that, exploit that to the fullest. So yeah, and so I would definitely advocate a raise here. So let's see what happens.
Looks like this. He's played those two hands very aggressively, so we'll take a mental note of that.
Okay, so as we heard TJ saying that Kobakai is very aggressive. So definitely it's the best thing to have your aggressive opponent to your right of you. And definitely when you're able to have last to act or you're on the button to really fully utilize and leverage your position against an aggressive player. And also against passive stations too. So I'm not too sure, and I really haven't played with Ripper 30 or Doc Balter, Cowboy, Cobra Kai. I played with Blackfire. I believe he had like a huge stack the other day. He had like maybe like I think it was like 3 or 4 buy-ins at the table, and we're playing PLO 5. So um, he seemed decent, I guess, for the most part. But he had a big stack, so he could have had he could have ran good or whatnot. However, going back to what's up here. Yeah, I'm definitely raising here. If anything, the big blind's always going to be calling if you don't raise because he had the option to check. So you want to be able to at least fold him out, right? And anytime anybody just kind of limps along, they're saying that the hand is decent, but it's not raise worthy. Or I mean, I don't think they'll be very tricky to do a 3 bet. And so far, haven't really noticed any 3 betting going on in PLO 5. I mean, with regularity. So I've only seen raises pre-flop and no, not too much 3 betting. So with that in mind, I'm definitely raising on the button to fold out the big blind for sure, and maybe one of these two guys. And of course, if Kobakai is aggressive, he'll probably call along anyway. So let's see what happens. We flop top two with a just top two right now, and see what happens. Let's see what we do on the flop.
Alright, we got aces and jacks. So let's check it down. We can bluff it here, but anybody with a flush or straight draw will call. So
Okay, so she's just saying that basically anybody with a spade draw or to be fair, I don't really see king queen uh trying to trap here, given the fact that it's spades. Now, with king queen with 2 spades in the hand, then yeah, definitely maybe they could be trapping. But for the most part, any made straight on that flop is betting out. Any flush on that flop is betting out, and I'm not really going to be seeing too much trickery. And especially more importantly, there's 5 people in the hand. So if Ripper, for example, has king queen, he's definitely betting out because he wants to protect his hand from a spade. Any of these guys would be doing that. So more importantly, since you are last to act, what I would do is I'd be betting out maybe 2/3, 3/4 of the pot, if not potting it, because it's such a drawy board that it's pretty much faced up if somebody calls you, because then now you know how to proceed, and you probably check turn and call river if you think it's safe to do so. But at any rate, I do understand there's no other redraws out there, but still, um, in this scenario, I'm betting out on the flop if it's checked to me. Okay, here we go. Here's the turn.
Let's see. We can disguise our strength of our hand by checking, but now we can't check anymore. We gotta bet 40, 2/3, 3/4 of the pot, and let's see what happens. He instant called, so on a draw, probably. Hopefully we'll hit a jack or an ace. Alright, with it, which is good.
Okay, so yeah, once everybody checks to you a second time on the turn, it's mandatory to bet out. I do like the 3/4 bet out there. It's kind of interesting because when you're last to act, people might credit you for trying to steal. In reality, you do have a semi decent hand, top two. So the very fact that Ripper called really quick, yeah, I am. I do agree with you, TJ. That I do believe that he's on a draw of some sort, probably a flush draw, most likely. And one of the caveats of the whole thing is, if we've noticed on the river, there's an ace, which fills you up to a boat. When you feel like people are passive, or they're like drawing, or they're just weak in general, you feel like you want to build up the pot to a point where they're making bad decisions. And I do understand your concept, though. I think you haven't really stated it in the video, but I do see your line of thought, because you want to check the flop, see what happens on turn, bet the turn, and get maybe a free showdown if you break out on the river. And I do that a lot too, where I'll either bet the flop and then bet the turn, and then that ensures me a free showdown if I don't think my hand will hold up, or what have you. So that's a good idea. But in reality, I really think that when pre-flop you should raise, and the flop gets a little bigger, and let's say for example Ripper. Let's see, if you raise pre, the pot could be like, I don't know. Let's see, be about like maybe 20% of your stack, and then you bet you. I would assume you bet pot, or maybe 2/3 pot. So, but right around the turn, the pot size, which should be like around $6 or so, 4 to 6, I think. So yeah, you definitely want to be getting towards getting it in. Now let's say, and this is your gen card, an ace on the river. So obviously, by the time by the time the pot is, like $6 or so, $4 to $6, whatever it is, maybe $4 or $6. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done the math. But once you hit that river card, your stack sizes in relation to the pot are probably half the pot. It's easy to get it in, and Ripper might have to feel like he has to hero call with like maybe ace queen or something like that he missed out on. So anyway, but I don't know if we called you, because you switched over to another slide. So what happened is you bet out, and he checked to you, and you bet out on the river, and he folds. So, or I think he folded. I don't know, but anyway, not bad. I would play it a little bit differently, but for the most part, the safe route is a good route too, because there are a lot of draws out there. But yeah, not that bad. So I'm gonna pause it, and we'll go to the next hand that I find interesting. Alright guys, I didn't realize we're almost down to a full 10 minutes allotted for YouTube, so I'll make this really quick. On this hand right here, I don't know if you guys can see it very well. Let's see if I can pop it up. Where am I? Hope you guys can see this. But anyway, quick run through. It looks like the board is paired, and rather great bets out, and TJ min raises. I do like that in the sense that he's trying to indicate strength. Sometimes when people min raise, that means a really strong hand. They won't give you credit if you like 3x hit re-raise sometimes, because then they're like, oh, you're trying to push me off. But if you do a min raise, it's saying like, oh, come on in, I'm not really threatening you, this and that. But usually min re-raises mean strength. Alright guys, I'm going to do another vid in a minute, and man. The Focus Motion, calculator, peace.